I think the Rise of Skywalker, it doesn't answer anything.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.
Greetings, everybody. Welcome back. It looks like they did indeed drop the Rise of Skywalker footage from D23, and the cries of Star Wars is saved will resume again, even though Doomcock and I talked about this in length on why it's not saved. Star Wars is pretty much dead, and Disney is just trying to get this over with, all right? They want to go right back to the past and probably circle the wagons and figure out their game plan to move forward. In the meantime, they can throw a Mandalorian and an Obi-Wan at you, maybe quietly get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and restart this whole thing and maybe win back some of the fans. But like I said in my last video, unless the soy milk can go right back into the tin, Luke Skywalker ain't coming back. So we start out at bounding into comics because this is a very short clip. And this clip includes original trilogy and prequel footage that I don't want to show. Not that I don't like it, I don't want to besmirch it with this new footage, but I'm forced to do so because there's a voiceover. I'm going to be pausing a lot so I don't get hit with a copyright strike, and I might still get hit with one. Who cares? But bounding into comics, watch Rey wields double-bladed red lightsaber in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker footage from D23, and this is typical J.J. Abrams. He just amps everything up. He doesn't necessarily make anything better, although it looks better if you're looking at it while you're distracted by something else. So Star Trek is a series, Star Wars fans, about the Starship Enterprise, and it had Captain Kirk, Spock, and Bones, Dr. McCoy. You might have heard of them. And they've had some other shows like The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. Well, J.J. Abrams tried to remake that, and all he did was take Star Trek, the original cast, recast them pretty well, and then amped everything up to 11 and made these forgettable messes of a movie with a pretty good cast. So he takes something like a simple fight between Khan and Spock, which would be cool on its own because there's two, like, basically superheroes fighting each other. And he's all, that's not good enough. They need to be on a crashing spaceship into San Francisco. So that's typical JJ. So spoilers, at the end of this trailer, there's a lightsaber duel on a raging ocean, and I'm betting there's ill-tempered sea bass with laser beams flying around too that Rey's gonna ride and defeat Kylo and then the Emperor. And then we'll find out that she was the key to everything. And that's another J.J. Abrams trope, which we'll get into in just a second. So let's get to the footage. And it starts at the 40-second mark. Again, apologies to all prequel and original trilogy fans. They're the ones who put all of this footage together with the new trilogy. I mean, that is Star Wars sacrilege. All right, let's go. And that looks a lot like the footage from the first trailer, so I'm guessing we're going to be on some MacGuffin mission, kind of like Alias, J.J. Abrams' Alias, where Sydney Bristow was trying to find the Rambaldi device, and she'd have to go to Cairo, Egypt, to find a guy named Stan who had the code. She would get to Cairo, Egypt, find out Stan only has half the code, and she has to go to Honolulu, Hawaii, to find Philippe, who has the other half of the code on a USB drive. She would find Philippe and find out that there's one number missing from the code that's in Paris, France, with a guy named Jack. And then she would eventually find the Rambaldi device and then find out that Sydney Bristow was indeed the key to everything. So that's probably what we're going to do, some meandering MacGuffin search. 5 rogues on a spaceship traveling around space, kind of like Farscape, kind of like Blake 7, kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy. Typical J.J. Abrams. This looks like a giant space rave. Looks like Star Wars Burning Man. Oh, boy. So, look, we got a lot of ships, and here we go. There's all the Star Destroyers because JJ has to amp up everything. And is the First Order now the Empire now? I'm not really understanding. And then I remembered I don't care because this is going to be absolutely meaningless. This was put here strictly for the trailer. And that's a lot of reviews I heard from The Force Awakens, especially one by my former co-host, made a lot of sense. His one criticism was it was like a big, long trailer. And that's how it was cut. It was interconnected scenes that didn't have a lot to do with each other and didn't have a lot of substance in between. That's J.J. Abrams. He just wants to get to the cool stuff. He's all about eating his dessert and doesn't really worry about the meal. and building stuff up. Again, amping everything up to 11. Oh, so we're finally going to give Finn a story. And C-3PO having red eyes leads me to believe that the one spoiler out there that somehow he gets some information put in him that puts him into battle mode or something like that is true. Again, I don't know the spoiler that much because I don't care. Big laser beam. Oh, it looks like Star Killer is back. Is Star Killer back? Oh boy. She boomerangs a lightsaber because she can do everything better than previous Jedis. 1,000 generations live in her because she is the key to everything. Here comes Krylo. Oh boy. Yeah, that just, oh my God. So I'm so uninterested in this film, and I can hear the cries right now. Star Wars is saved. We'll resume again. And I just don't know how many times people can get suckered. I guess a lot. And this is what Disney relies on. And until you get respected as the fan, you need to be skeptical, in my opinion. I'm going to remain skeptical. Again, if this movie turns out to be good, I will be happy to tell you that. I will come on the internets and tell you that I was wrong about this film. It actually entertained me. It made the whole entire trilogy watchable. It undid all the mistakes of Rian Johnson. It actually put the soy milk back into the tit. But I'm guessing it's not going to do that. But in the theme of amping everything up till 11, here we go. Nears its end. Do it. Do it. Oh boy. She's got a double lightsaber that she can put into a Darth Maul lightsaber because she is a woman and she can be fierce and badass just as any villain. And look at what we got here. Yep, look at that. So that would have probably been a more interesting storyline for Rey if they had actually done that throughout the 3 films. And maybe they will make her dark at the end. But who knows? Maybe they'll do exactly what they did to Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. He'll be, cuddling Padme, and 15 minutes later, he's killing younglings, which made no sense then, and it would make no sense here. This is something you would have to build up and hint towards through the entire series. But considering the kind of writing we've gotten lately, we had Daenerys in Game of Thrones just turn on a dime, and then they went back and said she didn't just turn on a dime. Remember that one scene 5 years ago where she was mean to somebody? That was hinting towards it. No, it wasn't. So my guess is this is some sort of vision, possibly. We are now in the 3rd film. We know nothing. Doomcock brought this up in the Inquisition. We know nothing about this character. We know little to nothing about Kylo. Just what little stories we've been told, but they're expressionless, they're blank, they're a shade of beige. No depth, nothing, but that is typical JJ. So I'm not entirely sure what Skywalker has to do with any of that, but didn't Kathleen Kennedy say the title was meaningless?
I think the Rise of Skywalker, it doesn't answer anything. It's provocative, it asks questions, and it could mean a lot of different things. And I think that that's what was important to us. We didn't want to have a title that felt like it was telling you the story.
Yeah, it just... honestly, the Mandalorian trailer was better, but I was talking to Mrs. Nerdrotic about that just about a half an hour ago, and she said that was a pretty meaningless trailer too. It was some good interconnected scenes that told us absolutely nothing. And while this tells us a little bit of what's going on, considering that it was about a little over a minute and a half long, that's how much footage we've gotten. So we've gotten a couple of minutes of footage since last December. I don't know how many trailers we had at this time, but we are not that far out from the Rise of Skywalker, and it feels like we haven't gotten a lot. But whatever. Again, I'm not excited. I never was excited. And I kind of hate doing these trailer reactions because I don't know what to say. You know, I've always had this idea. I wanted to do a video of trailer reactions of other people's trailer reactions. Maybe I'll do that with this instead. We'll just see. And do not forget the treatment the fans have suffered under Kathleen Kennedy's regime at Lucasfilm. And do not forget what they've done to the Star Wars narrative, putting in specific scenes for a specific agenda, which just didn't need to exist. For instance, in The Force Awakens, they took the time to show you that Rey was an independent whammon that didn't need Finn's hand or didn't need Finn's help, but they didn't take the time to actually tell us about the character. That was putting agenda over actual good storytelling and narrative and characterization. That is a good example of what J.J. Abrams' Star Wars is. And he did the same thing with Star Trek, and Alex Kurtzman is doing the same thing to Star Trek, and maybe I'll do a video about that. But until then, everybody have a great day. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.
Nerderotic.com. Please subscribe.